But prediction markets weren't always the multi-billion-dollar addiction apps that your husband checks on his phone immediately post-climax. In fact, prediction markets got their start as the insignificant fringe interest of enormous nerds. In 1998, faculty members at the University of Iowa created experimental prediction markets to discover what we could learn from letting people bet on things like the presidential election.
Ready to do this. Fucking impressive.
Wait.
I assume you got that email too, right?
I'm sure I did, but I don't know if it's fucking, because it doesn't have an F in the beginning. It's just a $, percentage sign, ampersand, number sign. Could be shitting impressive.
Shitting impressive. Well, shitting impressive is supposed to have 2 T's, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
right?
True. Yeah, so the number of characters isn't right.
Yeah, damning impressive, I guess, if he's not comfortable saying damn in an email. I'm reading the subject line of an email from James Carville. We love to hear from James Carville here in Iowa, one of our favorite political strategists.
Yeah.
We all remember him fondly, right?
I like his voice. Sounds like he came right out of the Gulf of Mexico, like a crawfish.
Yeah, he's a real gumbo man.
He's a real gumbo guy.
Straight from the swamps. But yeah, Rob Sand is continuing to send me emails from in the voice of James Carville. It would be great if the text was like written in his accent, but it's just regular, just plain text.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the screenshot I took here doesn't have the animated GIF that actually topped this email.
Who's the other guy that he's talking to? So there's a picture of him side by side with another guy who looks kind of like, I don't know, David Lynch, with a big like poofy headset mic.
He is a little Lynchian, but he's got bigger features, I think, than Lynch. Bushier eyebrows.
No idea.
Yeah, I football man. Like the headset makes me think that this is like a football live commentator or something.
That's former Cowboys coach Jimmy Johnson, actually. No, it's not. I have no idea.
I have no idea who that guy is. But it's just like a gif of James Carville saying fucking impressive. Okay, the text of the email is, Justin, pardon my French, but Rob Sand's campaign is just so fucking impressive. And it's a different, they replaced the ampersand with an @ sign for this one.
Important
Everything
to
else
know.
is the same, yeah. No joke. The Iowa governor's race is getting national attention for a good reason. Between the town halls, savvy social media, emails from James Carville, and the round-the-clock outreach, what's not to love? That's no exaggeration either. How else could you explain GOP Congressman Randy Feenstra's 7-figure ad buy last week just to attack him with utter nonsense? We discussed that last week on this show. The utter nonsense being Rob Sand would not have stood up for Donald Trump's xenophobic immigrant hatred, when the truth is Rob Sand absolutely would have stood and applauded at this this hierarchy of citizen versus immigrant. He absolutely would applaud for that.
Yeah.
Got to bring James Carville out to really drive that point home yet again.
There's one point I do agree with, really, is the round-the-clock outreach.
No kidding.
He really does do, every hour of the day. He's out here working, or at least, scheduling emails to go out.
Yeah. I guess it was only 2. I felt like I was getting a pile of emails yesterday. But it was just 2, because it was Pi Day. My man loves pie.
Oh, yeah, he does love Pi Day, too.
Oh, God, yeah. I just felt that email was, I don't know, it's sort of out of character. I feel like he should not be sending emails with implied profanity.
That's true.
That's not his
A good
image.
Christian man would not use profanity.
Yeah, even censored profanity from a swamp man, I don't think is appropriate for the Rob Sand image. Well, this is Hard Caucus. This is our 240th episode. Friday, It's Sunday now. Friday was the deadline for campaigns to file their paperwork to be on the ballots for the upcoming primaries and the real election later in the year. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Rob Sand being one of those candidates. He my man, piled up.
He got a lot of signatures.
He's proud of it.
Racking up the numbers.
I do want to save that for a minute, though, because I got an update about Jeff Shipley, which was the big story last week, was that Jeff Shipley called a constituent he called him that on the phone. I'm not going to say it. But, yeah, you remember Shipley replied to an email that I sent him inquiring about this and was sort of like, I didn't call him the name. I just asked him if he was that. But by the way, don't you care more about war than slurs? What are you? And then he called me the same slurs. No, not really. I'm sure he would, though. Well, I was talking to Zachary Oren Smith of the Iowa starting line, who also reached out to Shipley to request comment on the story. And Shipley wrote back to Zach with mostly the same email, but he did add some stuff in the middle that I feel is worth talking about here.
He's saving the good stuff for the real journalists out here.
I know.
Zach OS gets the scoop, and we're just left out in the cold.
All right, so here's the part that's like new. I do not view the terms in question as any sort of ableist, homophobic, or derogatory slur, and I certainly did not speak to this person in any sort of hateful way. The words in question, if you don't remember, are the R word, like for somebody with a mental disability or something, and the F slur for a gay person. So he's saying that these are not derogatory slurs.
In his head.
And then he lists examples of someone who is a, and then he uses the words again here written out in an email to a reporter.
And then he puts in parentheses.
Yeah.
He mashes them together.
Portmanteau. The first part of the F slur and the last part of the R word, put them together into a nice 7-letter portmanteau. But here are some examples. A person who is addicted to pornography.
Like, what, gay pornography? I mean, I know he doesn't mean that. He's definitely one of those, one of those guys.
You think he's addicted to pornography himself?
Oh, no. I think, he probably is. I mean, well, I don't know if I can say that, but, no, he's one of the, no-fap.
An anti-porn guy, yeah.
He's one of the no-fap soldiers.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Shipley's single, right? He's not, married.
I feel like he has to be, right?
I'm pretty sure that he is a single man. Confirmed bachelor, perhaps. Another example of an FFT, an RF, whatever we want to call it for short. A person who doesn't shut up about Bitcoin.
He likes to throw in curveballs because he seems like the kind of guy who probably would also be into Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
But then I'm glad to see that he doesn't like Bitcoin, I guess, because that shit is really, really stupid.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's the right terminology to use for someone who doesn't shut up about it.
No, I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable using those words on a Bitcoin enthusiast.
I'd probably just laugh at them for losing their money.
Right, yeah. A person who blames others for personal misfortunes brought upon himself. I feel like remember the person who called him, Shipley claims this person blamed Shipley for a loved one's cancer. So is that sort of a dig at that person? This is why I called him an RF.
Yeah, that's probably right.
A person who insists school children need access to sexually explicit and pornographic materials. Yeah. So he's one of the anti-library crusaders, of course.
Someone needs to, I don't know. I wonder what resides on his PC or laptop.
I wonder as well. I guess that's
not going to elaborate any further.
Right?
Yeah.
Just got to wonder. A man who advocates for abortion because he is a misogynist who is incapable of taking responsibility for his own actions.
I don't even know how to unpack that.
It's hard to take this list as anything but like projection.
These are stand-up comedy bits. This is like what he thinks. He thinks this is really funny, and he is a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, it's sort of like the top 10 list, like the Letterman classic.
Yeah, totally.
Top 10 list. People who are... I can hear it in David Letterman's voice. I'm sure he's used those words before. He's an older man. Those words used to be a little more freely thrown about.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it makes me wonder, like, how many abortions has Jeff Shipley paid for in secret? Or whatever. We're just wondering here. We're just speculating.
Just asking questions.
You're putting these ideas out there in an email to a journalist, so it makes people think. And then the last one is a person who spends way too much time on Reddit and publicly cries about being called a name by someone they were harassing. So that one is, without a doubt, targeting the man who called him. As someone they were... So this is... He's...
Yeah, isn't he the person who called him one of his constituents?
Definitely a resident of Iowa. I don't know if it's like from
I wasn't
Shipley's
sure
district or not, but I don't know who the person is. I don't think that the identity is out there. But recall earlier in the email that Shipley said, I never called him a name, right? And then he ends this list by saying, like, yes, but he is that.
Yeah.
So, yes, and
again, I did call him a name.
Yeah, you also apologized for calling him a name before, so you did call him that. But now you're calling him that again in this email. So it's like doubling and tripling down on using two words that really are not becoming of a member of government. You know, people make mistakes. People maybe like in the heat of the moment will say words that, or let's just say mean, cruel things, you know, without thinking. Most people, I don't think, would go to this extent.
No, I think most people would probably, you know, be a little bit more sincere in their apology and not, keep doubling down on what they said.
Sure. Yeah.
While also saying that they didn't say it and that,
it's kind of all over the place.
Doesn't really come off like you're being honest.
It's very childish. This is like a teacher heard you saying a bad word and you were like using every defense and dodge possible that comes into a child's head. So there is a Democrat who has filed to run against Jeff Shipley, Thomas O'Donnell. Don't know anything about him really, but gotta hope that somebody with a little bit more sense can run for that seat and not call people slurs over the phone.
Yeah, Fairfield needs to rise up and remove this man from office.
He's done worse than say slurs, but this is something that gets media attention.
That's true.
Like he's been a bad lawmaker his whole career. I mean, don't forget he said he hates Chinese people. Like the week he was elected, he said that in a stand-up routine and uploaded it to YouTube himself.
I hate Chinese people.
This guy sucks. But I found out about another elected official saying slurs recently. So this is like very popular nowadays. To be an elected Republican and to say things you really should not be saying.
Well, we talked about that magistrate a while back who said he used the term for immigrants that is definitely not okay, and then got reprimanded by the Iowa Supreme Court, and I think doesn't work as a magistrate anymore.
Yeah, was it the same guy who was like dismissing a teenage boy's like sexual assault claims? Was that the same guy?
I think it was.
Who also called like a South American immigrant or something. I forget who the guy actually was who didn't show up to a hearing or something. He said
yeah, it was the same guy.
Yeah, that guy was fun to learn about.
David J. Hansen.
Right. Well, we got a new guy to learn about. His name is Steve Wanders. I don't remember how this came to my attention, but there's a piece in the Oskaloosa Herald from earlier this week County supervisor used racial slur at public meeting. Says it was habit, not malice. Well, Steve, that's a pretty bad habit. I think you should probably break the habit of using racial slurs at public meetings. And maybe if you break the habit of using racial slurs in your private life, it will help you to avoid using racial slurs at public meetings.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. You probably don't want to be put on the record saying racial slurs.
At the very least.
At the very least.
A county supervisor who used a racial slur as part of a phrase that describes makeshift repair or construction said he did so absent-mindedly. I love stories like this in the newspaper because it's like they don't want to use the word, and then they like try to describe it to you so that you know what they're talking about. So I probably would not have immediately clicked like, what is that? What word are they describing? I'll continue, and we'll get to it. I'm not going to say it, of course, but I'll try to make it more clear. Steve Wanders used the term during a public meeting on March 4th to describe the HVAC system at a county-owned building on South 11th Street. By the way, the county, this is, again, it's Oskaloosa, so this is in...
Mahaska.
Yes, thank you, Mahaska County. He's been a supervisor there for a few years now. So there's the quote from Steve Wanders. This is what he said at the meeting. The heating and air conditioning in that building is all chopped up because it used to be a grocery store. So it's just kind of what I call N-word rigged. Whatever you want to call it, Wanders said. They, of course, tastefully censored the N-word here in the Oskaloosa Herald, but N-word rigged.
Yeah, like that's like, it's not like, you know, there's another word that sounds like the racial slur that doesn't have the same meaning, but this one is like,
just the word.
It is, yeah, like there's no way around it. It is a racial slur. It is intended to be a racial slur.
Right.
I mean, maybe in the, 100, 200 years ago, it wasn't as offensive, obviously, but I was looking into the etymology of it because I wasn't sure. And I found like 1895 definition of it that said it is, it's an example of like illiterate and, even in 1895, it was like considered to be offensive.
It's very clear like what it's about. It's, saying that a race of people is bad at doing a certain kind of work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When asked about it days later, Wanders said he was not speaking derogatorily of any person or people when he said it. Wanders said he said it without a second thought because he has used the phrase for years. In our farming operation, that's what we call a lot of stuff. It's just a phrase. We say it all the time. To me, that's what it is. Steve, you can't be saying that. You can't be throwing that around all the time. Like, I guess I take him at his word on that, but like, that's really not good. That like, all these people that you're saying this word around all the time are just like, yeah, that's just this thing we say. We like saying that. Wanders said he was unaware of any similar phrases, like jerry-rigging, that mean the same thing without the inclusion of the racial slur. But he said he would start using other phrases instead. So that's nice of him to consider. If it makes you so upset, I'll try to learn other words.
Isn't that about German people? I don't think it is. I don't think so. But the thought just crossed my head.
Yeah, I've got the dictionary page pulled up here. Jerry built versus jury rigged versus jerry rigged.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of jerry rigged. Come on, give me the real definition here. Before things were jerry built, it seems that some things were built in the jerry style. Yeah, a homeowner was asked what the meaning of the jerry style of architecture is, and he says, anything that is badly built. Have you seen any houses in Toxteth Park? Are any of them built in the jerry style of architecture? No. Okay, so that's a good neighborhood where they don't jerry build their houses. Okay, jerry rigged, organized or constructed in a crude or improvised manner. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing without the connotation of demeaning an entire race of human beings.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably a preferable term. Maybe he'll say that next time he describes an HVAC system that doesn't meet his standards.
Mm-hmm. And if it does refer to Germans, then that's probably fine.
That's acceptable discrimination. I mean, whatever.
They've done some stuff in their day.
It's certainly more deserved than the other word that the guy was saying. While Wanders may not have noticed when he said it, fellow supervisor Chuck Webb did. I heard it. I didn't bring any attention to it because I didn't think I wanted to, Webb said.
Yeah, there's like another quote also from another, like the auditor, who's like, it didn't register me that he said it. I would certainly never say anything like that. Like, I kind of think like you probably should say something. I feel like if someone were to use that in a public meeting, I think it's kind of on you to be like, hey, like, what did you say? Can we like, can we like not say that again?
Yeah, it does. It doesn't reflect well on everyone else in the meeting. Cause like the rest of it is like other county supervisors, other people holding positions of authority in this county. And when one of you says the N-word in the meeting, just casually, and the rest of you don't acknowledge it at all, I mean, that doesn't look good for anyone.
Yeah, especially because now there's news articles about it. Like, probably, even if you don't take personal offense to it, for the standpoint of your job, you should probably say something, right?
Yeah, I think that people should generally not be cool with that. Oh yeah, the county auditor, her name is Madison Garden, which is a pretty cool name. middle name.
It is.
Circle, huh? I don't know. Yeah, she said that he had never heard him use that word before. Webb said nobody has complained about or mentioned Wander's comment. We haven't heard from anybody else. I think that's more because people probably aren't watching the meeting.
Yeah.
Most people are not that engaged in local government. I'll tell you, if one of the officials at a meeting that I attend said N-word rigged, I would be disrupting that meeting loudly.
Yeah.
People would know that happened very quickly. So I wanted to know more about Steve Wanders. I found this article from a few years ago. I just wanted to see what this guy's deal was. So this is another Oskaloosa Herald article from 2018. Headline is, Wanders not charged with election misconduct. Oh, well, that's probably good, right?
Yeah.
It says he wasn't charged, so it means he probably didn't do anything wrong, right? Mahaska County Board of Supervisors candidate Steve Wanders will not be charged with election misconduct following a report of a possible infraction against Iowa code. So we got a press release from the Mahaska County Attorney's Office. During Oskaloosa's trick-or-treat night on October 30th, Wanders was observed wearing a T-shirt supporting his candidacy and passed out candy with campaign stickers within 300 feet of the courthouse door. Evan, what do you think about this? Is this unethical behavior?
At first, I thought it was on election night, and if it was like on election night, then yeah, probably. I don't know. It's probably not that big of a deal, but it is funny to try to like bribe children with candy to vote.
The thing is, the trick-or-treaters, they are not of voting age. So you're relying on these kids to like not throw the sticker in the garbage and instead give the sticker to their parents or something.
Yeah. I'd say more funny than, like election interference.
Actually, so according to the press release from the attorney's office, Wanders arrived at approximately 4 p.m. and stayed until around 5:30 p.m. and the polls were open for approximately 30 minutes while Wanders solicited votes. So they were having a trick-or-treat night and maybe early voting was happening at the same time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. The investigation into the matter revealed Wanders was unaware of the requirements of the Code of Iowa and the provisions regarding solicitation of votes near a polling place. So the courthouse must have been a polling place at the time. But this is good to know. If you don't know what the law is, then you can't be held accountable for violating the law. That's the standard that I'm observing here. That's how it works, right? For most people?
It depends on where you are in society, but yeah.
Violations of this code section could result in a 1-year term in the Mahaska County Jail or a fine up to $1,875.
Damn. whole year in jail.
A whole year.
for giving some candy out.
Yeah. So if you were presented with that option, Evan, either spend a year in county jail or pay $1,875, which would you choose?
Oh, the money. It's not up to me, though. I would be surprised if anyone has ever been jailed for for violating like these kind of laws.
Right, yeah. Sort of electioneering, I think they call that, right? Yeah, that's right there, electioneering. Loitering, this is the relevant piece of code here. Loitering, congregating, electioneering, posting signs, treating voters, or soliciting votes during the receiving of ballots.
What about tricking voters?
Yeah. He was doing both. This is a sort of an outdated part of the Iowa code because it doesn't include the tricks.
Yeah.
Either on the premises or within 300 feet of an outside door of a building, affording access to a room where polls are held, etc., etc. The release from the county attorney's office stated, although it is clear a candidate's duty is to know his statutory obligations in an election, it is not clear Wanders' inappropriate actions were a voluntary and intentional violation of a known legal duty. So he's not being punished for this because he didn't know and it wasn't on purpose. I am prepared to use those defenses in a court of law.
Oh, me too.
Your Honor, I didn't know. It was an accident.
It might hurt that you've got all these recorded podcasts of, who knows what we said, 5 or 6 years ago.
Well, then we can shift to the other defense of I don't remember that.
True.
This office has been assured no further apparent violations of the law will occur, and because of the relatively short period of time involved, and because of the lack of prior violations, no charges will be filed at this time. It should be noted the integrity of our election process is critical to our form of government, and any further allegations of election misconduct will be vigorously pursued. And that was about 8 years ago, so hopefully he's been on the straight and narrow since then. Oh, wait, he's using the N-word in public meetings. That's not too good. All right. So, yeah, that's another elected official using slurs in public. Hopefully there's not more than 2 of them out there, but we'll keep you posted next week if we hear about another one.
I feel like, there's probably similar events happening in every state. Like, if this happened, 2 or 3 times in Iowa in the last, 10 years, and just, with people like, Jeff Shipley and Mr. Wanders out here, it's bound to happen again.
Yeah. I mean, his mind wanders and he blurts out inappropriate language.
Yeah.
It's just his nature. I did think that this was funny. Our outgoing governor, Kim Reynolds, she's starting a legacy tour. There's a piece in The Little Village by Paul Brennan about this. Governor Kim Reynolds kicks off her legacy tour just days after signing a bill undermining the rights of trans Iowans. Yes, I believe they might detail it in this article, but legislative session is still ongoing, but the governor has signed 2 bills so far. So we do have priorities that have been passed into law already. One of them was a school funding bill, and the other was the bill that says local cities and counties cannot have civil rights ordinances beyond what the state dictates, meaning that last year's removal of gender identity from the state civil rights code is you're not allowed to then replace that at the local level. Mm-hmm. This is something that was so important that it got rushed through, and the governor has signed it. This is of equal importance to funding schools. They hate trans people so much that they have to prioritize and rush laws to make sure that they can be discriminated against by their bosses and landlords, etc. So, the same week that was signed into law, the Governor Kim Reynolds Legacy Tour has kicked off in Cedar Rapids at the hotel at Kirkwood Center. I should have gone to that. Anyway. It's not, I'm reading from Paul's words here, it's not uncommon for a retiring politician to hold farewell events to meet and thank constituents, but the stops on Reynolds' legacy tour are not free and open to the public. The tour is a fundraiser for the Iowa Republican Party. How much would you pay to see Kim Reynolds on her, her final tour?
How much would she have to pay me?
Individual tickets for the event in Cedar Rapids were $50.
Yeah, that's not happening.
$50 to see Kim Reynolds in her final year in office. Yeah, really exciting stuff. But you know how it is with these like older bands. Like they say it's the farewell tour, and then a few years later, like, well, we could use a little more money, and they bring it back. So she might make a comeback. How funny would that be?
This is like the Feenstra, Zach Lawn, Adam Steen, like emergency backup fund.
More expensive tickets that will earn the purchaser recognition as an event sponsor are also available. And those willing to pay an even higher price can buy ticket packages at the host committee level. So this is, yeah. They've got an image here posted to the Iowa GOP Facebook. You got this pulled up? Would you say this is AI? I think it's not.
I don't think it is. Yeah, not that it really matters that much, but yeah.
The fucked up thing is that, like, the proliferation of all these, like, AI advertisements, and it makes everything sort of start resembling that same style.
I know. I hate it.
It's like they want it to look like it was done by AI, which is bad. That's not something to strive for. I want to be able to tell that a human did this. But this is a real spread out tour. We got March 12th in Cedar Rapids, April 30th in Davenport, May 14th in Dubuque, June 19th in Clear Lake. Come on, dude. We're going to the Governor Kim Reynolds Juneteenth celebration in Clear Lake, Iowa.
I didn't make the connection. God damn.
Ugh. I bet you, Blodgett will be in attendance. That's his home turf. He's going to go to the Kim Reynolds Juneteenth celebration. July 10th in Des Moines and September 10th in Sioux Center. So this is like a 6-month endeavor. You going to be going to the Des Moines show?
The show. Yeah, man. I'll see you there. No.
She's playing different set lists every time.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta, yeah, she's got people following her around like the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, the Kim heads. I don't know. There's got to be a better name for that. Kim's kids. That's gross. I don't like that either.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is the part that's, like, I think most relevant. The Cedar Rapids kickoff of the Governor Kim Reynolds Legacy Tour is happening the same week Reynolds signed into law another bill targeting the civil rights of trans and non-binary people. It's a companion piece to last year's history-making rollback of civil rights protections. History-making because we are the first state to do this.
Yeah.
The first state to ever take words out of our state's civil rights code. We have that. That is an achievement. We are the first. Probably not the last, but...
Yeah, that's her legacy right there.
Mm-hmm. More than a dozen Iowa cities, as well as Johnson County, had ordinances in place that protected people from discrimination based on gender identity, and none of them rescinded those ordinances after Reynolds changed the Iowa Civil Rights Act. At the beginning of this year's legislative session, the governor's office introduced a bill, eventually numbered House File 2541 in the Iowa House, to invalidate those local ordinances and prevent any future such ordinances from being adopted. Under the governor's bill, no local government could offer protections for civil rights beyond those already approved by the state legislature. The bill passed a House subcommittee and committee with only Republican support. That's, good. I guess 1 point in favor of the Iowa Democrats. They don't go along with this, at the very least.
Yeah.
But it didn't go to the House floor for a final vote because Representative Stephen Holt from Denison, and one of the leading supporters of anti-trans bills in the legislature, used a legislative maneuver to ensure the Senate would be able to quickly approve the ban on local civil rights protections. So they fast-tracked this. They used, sneaky, underhanded maneuvers to make sure that this wasn't even discussed on the floor. That's how important this is to these guys.
Yeah, it looks he took the language from the civil rights bill and put it into another bill as an amendment that had already passed the Senate, so they didn't have to like talk about it, and then it just went up for vote. That's crazy.
Why is that like something you can do?
For real. For real.
Yeah, the amended bill was passed by the Senate with only Republican support, and the governor signed it on Tuesday. In Iowa, this is again another point of how important this is to them. In Iowa, new laws typically don't take effect until July 1st of the year they are passed. But a provision in this bill made the law go into effect as soon as Reynolds signed it, because the changes it makes are deemed of immediate importance.
Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, why? How?
Yeah, I don't...
Obviously, there's no reason to do this other than bigotry.
Yeah.
But, like, again, they're not even fucking trying to be, like, justify it in any way.
Yeah, well, you remember last week we watched that clip of Pat Grassley when Laura Bellin was asking him questions about this. And basically his attempt to justify it was like, well, we don't want a patchwork of different civil rights laws around the state. But why? Like, there's really no reason to prioritize this. There's no reason to do this at all unless you just like, you don't think anybody should have any sort of life outside of a strict, rigid gender binary.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way to justify this. Men have to be men and women have to be women, and they are, that's decided at birth. There's nothing in between. There's nothing outside of this. And men have to live their lives this way, women this way. You do this, you do this. That's the right way to live, and I will not allow anything. Anything outside of this is now illegal.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that whole ideology is far more harmful to women and men than, like what? Like, non-binary people are going to, like, destroy the fabric of our society or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, like, if anything exists outside of this strict model of, like, what a man and a woman are supposed to do, then society is thrown into chaos. Where have you heard this before, everyone? Gay marriage, perhaps? I mean, it's always anything seeking to allow people to live life as they see fit that doesn't meet with this sort of nuclear family type of model, like, must be suppressed, I think is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Steve Holt, let's see. Who's running against him? We got 2 Democrats running in House District 12 against incumbent Steve Holt. We've got Dustin Durbin and Brady Meyer running for the Democratic nomination there in House District 12. Don't know much about them. Dustin Durbin is a cool name. So as of now, I'm leaning towards Dustin Durbin. But it would be awesome to see that snake-eyed, penis-looking motherfucker. I mean, what an evil shithead.
Yeah.
One of the worst guys.
Fucking Goomba.
Yes, right. That's right. He is one of the Goombas from the Super
live
Mario
action
Brothers
Mario
movie.
Yeah
with John Leguizamo and it's Bob Hoskins, right?
Bob Hoskins. Yeah
How could I forget? Well, speaking of these elections, we do need to update you all on some important stuff, some of these important statewide races. Our friend Chris Jones, the only candidate we've interviewed recently, he is now the only Democrat seeking the Secretary of Agriculture position. Do you remember his primary opponent? Anyone?
Wade Dooley.
Democrat Wade Dooley ends his campaign for Secretary of Agriculture. Okay, I don't want to talk too much shit. I don't really know anything about Wade Dooley other than he's a farmer.
Yeah, right.
Which could go either way. There's a lot of people who are like, well, we should have a farmer be the Secretary of Agriculture, Of course. Why would anyone but a farmer be qualified for that position? And I think that Chris Jones has made a pretty solid case for himself that he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, I would say so.
Not literally being a farmer, I think that he knows what he's talking about. So I don't want to talk too much shit about Wade Dooley, other than to say Wade Duty. And yeah, his statement about dropping out of the race is like he needs to focus on his family. He has a child. His first child is going to be born soon, so that's probably not ideal circumstances for running a statewide campaign. So the field has been cleared. Our friend Chris is going to seek. Well, he's got the Democratic nomination by default now, and he's going to run against Mike Naig in November. I don't know. I don't know if I can make any predictions on that, but it seems like Chris's campaign is like pretty popular.
I think he's got a shot for sure. I mean,
I don't.
It's a good year for him to have a shot. If
I'd
he does,
say so. Yeah, I think that the Republican Party is hopefully not going to be super popular at the ballot box this year. But
it's funny to imagine that like Rob Sand is going to lift Chris Jones's campaign, given their minor disagreements over agricultural policy and such.
I mean, Chris is it seems he's a lot more willing to play ball with his fellow Democrats than Rob Sand at the top of the ticket.
Honestly, yeah, true.
like he doesn't mince words when it comes to like the Democratic Party being like in lockstep with the Republicans when it comes to the ethanol industry and like not really opposing the pipelines and shit. But, he's been pretty supportive of the Democrats in general and isn't like avoiding at all costs the implication that he's running as a Democrat.
Right. Well, good luck to him.
Yeah. It seems like Chris has a lot of energy and like people behind his campaign, whereas Mike Naig has like money and industry backing him up.
Right.
So that's, we can't really say either way, but people vote, and hopefully people will vote. It's hard to say, but
yeah, who knows?
But in sadder news, that was not the only field that's been cleared. Rob Sand is also the only Democrat running for governor now. And let me ask you all the same question. Do you remember the other Democrat who was running for governor? Well, aside from Paul Dahl.
Yeah, of course. Paul Dahl.
Whose name has been completely absent from all the articles I read about this week.
Man, forgot about him for a second there. Can't believe that.
Yeah, Julie Stouch. She was also running, and she did submit the paperwork. But... Mm-hmm. Reading from her Facebook posts from Friday, I think it was Friday. This afternoon, I had a call from the Iowa Secretary of State's election office telling me that my petitions did not meet the requirements during their review. 2 counties had several problems, which led to numbers below the 100 threshold required. Therefore, my name will not be on the June primary ballot. So we don't even have a token alternative in the Democratic primary for governor. It's Rob Sand all the way. He's got it. He will definitely be getting the nomination.
Yep. Well, which, I mean, we knew that. I don't think Julie Stouch was really running much of a campaign. I don't think she was really expecting that she was going to have any shot.
No, probably not, which is probably why, the signatures on the petitions were not, in good enough shape.
Yeah, I mean, she did. I mean, I would prefer her as a candidate over Rob Sand. She did say that she does not support the discrimination against trans people. Just like, feels like kind of like a bare minimum, absolute rock bottom bare minimum for like, given the bills that we just talked about.
Yeah, it should be the bare minimum. But there's so many of these fucking like high profile Democrats.
Yeah.
I think it's... Okay. I was going to say men. I think it's primarily like white men. Like I'm thinking Gavin Newsom and Rob Sanders.
Yeah,
basically.
Me too. Yeah. I'm thinking Gavin Newsom.
Who are just like, I think they have a point when it comes to sports though, right, fellas?
Yeah, we got to be more normal, like Gavin Newsom. Fucking TV president.
Normal man. Mm-hmm. When, it should be a bare minimum to just say like, this is like a campaign of hatred whose only purpose is discrimination and like, at the very least, you can say that they're like trying to divide us and distract from the real issues.
Yeah.
You know? But just, this is like denying people's basic humanity for the purpose of, keeping us in a tiered hierarchical system where some people get to live better lives than others because they have decided to conform to the standards of the Christian heteronormative patriarchy.
Yeah.
Wow, I used a lot of buzzwords there, huh?
Yeah, you did. I agree, though.
Yeah, I think I'm right.
Yeah.
Right. So Julie Stouch did not have her signatures in order, so she's not going to be on the primary ballot, which made me remember something from a few years ago.
Oh, yeah. Made me remember something right now.
That happened with Finkenauer. Remember that? Yeah. But it made me, I was actually thinking about, I ran into like the candidate for vice president for the Legal Marijuana Now party. This was like before the 2016 election, I think. He was just standing outside of Walgreens and asked for my signature on his petition. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Like,
honestly, I would sign pretty much any petition like for a candidate. Like, just because it's like, why not, man?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they have any, realistic, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win.
And it doesn't mean you have to vote for them on the ballot once they're on there. But I was like, oh yeah, I want legal marijuana now to be on the ballots in Iowa. So I signed it, and then he was on the ballot. And it's like, if that guy can do it.
Yeah, I know.
Because that has the same requirements. Actually, higher requirements because it's for president.
Yeah.
You need more signatures. So if you can't make that happen for like a primary campaign for governor, I mean, this wasn't a serious campaign at all, I guess. Well, who's surprised by that?
Yeah.
It was token opposition to Rob Sand just running away with it. And speaking of Rob, I'm subscribed to his Substack because I got to keep up on all the latest.
Oh, yeah. I am too. I didn't see that he posted recently, though.
Yeah, he posted the other day just celebrating when he turned in his signatures. I'm reading from his Substack now. That's right. 24,756 Iowans from every corner of Iowa and all 99 counties stepped up to say they want this campaign in the race. That's more than 7 times the minimum required, and it shattered both the previous gubernatorial campaign record by nearly 9,000 signatures and the all-time record by nearly 1,000. So he is very much bragging. I didn't see how many signatures Randy Feenstra turned in. But he definitely is going to be on the primary ballots.
Yeah. I think, Zach Lawn, I know, is good. I don't know. I think there's some stuff with like Eddie Andrews where apparently they had to redo the count. It's the 2000 presidential election.
Yeah. I have the list here of every candidate that met the deadline with the proper number of signatures. And they've got Randy Feenstra, Brad Sherman, and Adam Steen on the Republican side for governor. I remember I saw a video of Eddie Andrews like at wherever they turned the signatures in, the Capitol, I guess. And he did turn them in, but he's not on this list yet. This is from like 5:30 yesterday.
Yeah, I think he turned them in like minutes before the deadline or something.
Okay, well, best of luck to Eddie, I guess. So I was going through this list, just seeing like, are there any places where nobody filed? I think that we have at least one candidate in every one of these districts now. We do have, of course, a lot of uncontested races now, like my state Senate district. Megan Foster is the only candidate who filed to replace Zach Walz. So good for her. Congrats. She's a shoo-in now. Doesn't need my vote. Also, my state rep, Dave Jacoby, is unopposed. Unopposed, thank you. Unopposed, still using his AOL.com email address. But something I thought was pretty interesting was Paul Pate, the Secretary of State, does not have a Democratic opponent at all.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like, I don't know. Oh, who knows what recruiting tactics the Iowa Democrats have used to get candidates, but like I feel like that's a pretty big one, right?
You would hope like that
you'd kind of want to have a candidate at least, even if you don't, even if they don't have the support that they might need to win. Like, come on.
To leave it just completely unopposed, like, yep, Republicans will still completely run all of the elections in the state. Voter ID, we're going to keep pushing further and further restrictions on that to make sure fewer and fewer Democrat-leaning type people are allowed to vote.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to keep running everything. I did think that the District 2 U.S. House race looks kind of interesting. There's only one Republican and 3 Democrats running. So this is to replace Ashley Hinson because she's going up to Senate.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to have to face Jim Carlin in the Republican primary for Senate. So that's going to be tough. Jim Carlin, everyone.
He's related to George, I guess.
I
mean, that's a point in his favor, right?
Yeah, probably. Everybody remembers George Carlin from when he was the guy on the Thomas the Tank Engine show. That's why everyone remembers George Carlin.
Yeah.
No, Jim Carlin's just like a nutcase. Ashley Hinson's got that one. I'm pretty confident she's going to win the Republican nomination.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one Republican running in District 2, Joe Mitchell. Now I've been seeing people say that like there's no way Democrats are going to like gain anything here in Iowa. I'm not totally sure. Like,
I agree. I think that there's going to be some seats that flip, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which ones?
Congressional District 3.
Yeah. You think Sarah's going to take Zach out?
I think it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
I think at least one will flip. It could be the Senate. I mean, I don't know. Even the Senate, maybe, if Rob Sand really does well and draws a lot of people out. I don't know. That's also like not necessarily gonna happen. I don't know if we can bank on that. There's a lot more registered Republican voters in the state.
Right. That's the thing people
you kind of have to assume that, like a lot of people who might vote for Rob Sand might split tickets, considering the campaign
that's what he's running for.
I mean, that's what his goal is. Yeah.
Yeah. We can talk to India about this too. Like in his campaign stops, he says like Republicans will still be running the state house, even if I'm the governor. Like he's not even pretending that he's like going to try to move the needle on anything except his own race.
Yeah.
But yeah, this District 2 thing. Joe Mitchell is running for the Republican nomination. We got Lindsey James, Clint Twetball, and Kathy Dolter running for the Democrats. So there's like clearly some energy there to like flip that seat. And Joe Mitchell I'd never heard of. So I wanted to see like what's this guy's deal. He has an opinion piece in the Des Moines Register from earlier this week. Joe Mitchell, all right. And his piece is called "Iowa's Goal Should Be Eliminating Property Tax on Homesteads." So this is what he's this is what he wants to be known for.
God damn, he's 28 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He also he was succeeded by Jeff Shipley in his former Iowa House of Representatives seat, 84th district.
That was so long ago. He was like a teenager.
2019 was when he assumed that seat. Yeah, that's wild.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, that was like a redistricting thing, I think. I don't think it was like...
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, I think so.
And this picture of him on this, I mean, this looks like the work of a mortician.
He looks like Eddie Munster.
Kind of. It's not enough of a widow's peak.
Yeah, that's true.
But he does kind of have Eddie Munster hair. Okay, so Joe Mitchell is a property developer in Clear Lake, and he wrote this. Almost 500 years ago, John Locke wrote that all people have a right to life, liberty, and property. I'm already out. This principle laid the foundation for the Declaration of Independence. And 250 years later, we celebrate the freest and greatest country on earth.
How are you going to praise the founder of liberalism?
Sentence 1, John Locke. Oh, get out of here. It does seem like this 250th year celebration. That's going to be a big part of the Republican midterms strategy here, is this America 250 thing.
Yeah.
By the way, the other day I saw like a soft drink cup flattened on the ground in the mall parking lot that said it had the America 250 logo on it. And I was like, where the fuck did this come from? Like I couldn't find anywhere like offering those cups. Like, what is this? So maybe these cups will be ubiquitous, and like every proper patriotic restaurant will be giving you an America 250 cup for all of your big pop needs. Even as we prepare to celebrate America's birthday, we have not yet achieved all of its promises. For example, Locke never envisioned the tax system we have today, where a bloated government taxes everything from our income to our purchases.
Dog, he was born in like the 1600s.
Can you believe that the government is taxing everything from our income all the way to our purchases? I mean, yeah, like I don't like being taxed either, man, but it's kind of like, I don't know, necessary.
Yeah. Also, like, there's been like a $1 billion budget deficit for like 2 years straight after the Republicans passed, state income tax cuts.
Right.
It's like, I don't know, maybe that's not cutting it. Oh, the revenue decreased more than they thought. Oh, big shocker.
Yeah. Okay, so they tax everything from our income to our purchases, and where landowners automatically pay rent to the government without their approval. But that's exactly what happens in Iowa and across the country. Now the question is, what are we going to do about it? You hear him cocking his shotgun. Joe Mitchell is advocating an insurrection at the Iowa Capitol to abolish the property tax and probably the income tax. I think he just wants only sales tax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, flat tax.
Yeah, that's right. That's what's fair. Property taxes are one of the worst forms of taxation the government can impose. Let's see how he justifies that claim. As a builder and property developer, you are out of the conversation. You are not allowed to comment on this. Okay, as a builder and property developer, I see firsthand how those costs are passed down to both renters and homeowners.
So you're the one doing that, is what you're saying.
I see firsthand how
from my own eyes.
I see the tax burden in my right hand, and I see myself passing it into my left hand and writing it into leases. I see how those costs are passed down to renters. For Iowans who built their homes, paid for their homes, and live in their homes, enough is enough. I'm running for Congress to fight for a constitutional amendment that ends the practice of property taxes. It's not going to happen overnight, but that's something I plan to do when I am sworn into office in 2027. So he's not even talking about Iowa. He's talking about the country.
Right.
He's running for U.S. Congress. A constitutional amendment to end the practice of property taxes. That's wild, dude.
That's not going to happen. Like, I don't know. I think America will sooner dissolve than ever pass another constitutional amendment.
Sure, yeah. Any amendment at all. Yeah. It requires way too much. I think it's more
likely that the United States no longer exists.
Yeah, we're going to have a new constitution entirely because we're going to have to found several new nations in place of the one we had. Do we need to read the rest of this? I mean, it's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
If we act boldly, growth will reach new levels. Investment will increase. Construction will expand. Those are things we want, right? That benefits me.
Yeah,
if investment increases.
A property developer.
I look around and I think there's not nearly enough construction going on. There's not enough investment going on. I need more empty property to be built up around me in my neighborhood. I want to see more out-of-state, possibly international investment firms just sort of squatting on empty properties all around my city.
Yeah.
Revenue will rise because people will once again move here, put down roots here, and grow with our state, not just leave for a better tax climate. So you're trying to make a quote, better tax climate here, so people will leave wherever they are, and they'll come. Well, but you're trying to do this at the national level.
Yeah.
So everywhere will be the same, so why would anyone be here? I don't know that property tax is the reason most people are fleeing the state. I think it's some of the other stuff we've been discussing recently.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
A poisoned environment completely dominated by a certain industry, and hateful bigots prioritizing discrimination against gender diversity. I think that's a couple of the reasons I've seen people leaving the state.
I think he isn't talking about federal. For some reason, I mean, he's running for U.S. Congress, but then I think he's specifically talking about Iowa.
For that paragraph I just read, I think you're right. Because he's praising the efforts so far to reform property tax, but it ain't enough.
No.
Get that shit to zero. Do you think... Why do we have property taxes, I guess, is the question. What's the goal here? And like, how is it distributed? The property tax burden. I mean, it seems like basically the equation is if you own more shit, you pay more money to the government to fund government programs.
Yeah.
And if you can't handle that, you can maybe own less shit so other people can own the shit that you used to own.
Yeah.
And that is offensive to people who want to own everything. This is just the way society is supposed to be. There are a few people who get to own a lot of stuff, and then there are a lot of people who get to own nothing or very little.
Yeah. It just reminds me of all this like wealth redistribution. Like, oh, like wealth redistribution is the worst thing ever. Wealth redistribution happens naturally in a capitalist system, like, and that money does not flow in the direction that people who are complaining about it are saying. The wealth is being redistributed from the few who have, or the many who have little to the few who have a lot.
Right. Because when you have a lot of stuff, you have more influence on how the system works.
And it's a lot easier to acquire more stuff when you have a lot of stuff, especially if that a lot of stuff that you have to begin with is capital.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about reducing the tax burden for, whoever your preferred group of people is. Some people, like Joe Mitchell, prefer the people who are very wealthy and own a lot, and they think that they shouldn't have to pay taxes. And then you get stuff like, did you see that Cory Booker thing where it was like, I forget the number, but it's like families making under 100,000 should pay no taxes at all.
Yes, I saw that.
Or no, it was like no taxes on the first $100,000 of income.
Mm-hmm.
Which means then that...
Yeah. It's also like people don't like understand like income tax versus like, people making money off of capital gains, like most people, like, you can tax income like at zero, or you can tax income really high and still have a lot of people who are paying like very few taxes, like on a per capita basis, just because the income that they have isn't from their job, It's
classified differently. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think I have a very simple tax solution, which is nobody gets to keep any of their money for themselves anymore.
100% tax rate.
100% tax rate for every single person. And then the government just gives you the stuff that you need. It's simple.
Yeah, I mean, I think in like 300 or 400 years, we might get there if we can, stick around for that long.
Yeah, we got to make sure like nuclear Armageddon doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Which it might.
But that'll really change the way the human societies are structured, so.
It's true. We might be forced into like some sort of like communal type society. Maybe like certain tribes will emerge. I think it'll be a tough transition, but we might be able to get somewhere a little bit more equitable eventually. I don't think we really have time to talk about the woke ginger today.
No, I don't really want to talk about the woke ginger. It just offends me.
What offends you about the woke ginger?
The term ginger is offensive.
Yeah.
I'm not a, a person of red hair, but I have had many friends who have had red hair or currently have red hair.
Yeah.
And I don't think you should refer to them that way.
I like thinking about ex-gingers.
Yeah. Well, time catches up to us all. Or, you get some Just for Men from Jim Pickering.
You get some cosmetic surgery to improve your hair color. The woke ginger, I don't know if I should even be using that word now that you point it out.
It's not very woke.
It's kind of a slur, yeah. Well, we'll leave him to his own devices. The woke ginger, you've been spared for today. We're going to move on to plugging a few things, and then we're going to sign off. Hey, I have a show coming up at the end of this month, March 28th. My band I can't even say the name. Ascended Master will be playing a show at Frat House, the DIY venue in Iowa City. Text me if you need the address. We are playing with Chicago bands Nequient and Black Cross Hotel. Frat House is a very fun place to see shows. I went to a show there on Friday, and I got my foot stomped on so hard that I've been limping all weekend.
Dang.
So that's the kind of thing that can happen to you at this venue. And that's what you want to happen. That's fun, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't intentional. It was somebody flailing around and dancing very hard who then landed on me.
I feel like you're not a mosher.
Nope.
We actually have been. We saw Knocked Loose at Slipknot.
That's right. Yeah.
Slipknot Fest, and there was some moshing afoot, but we were not involved. But we were near. Yeah, I definitely got my foot stepped on before at other shows.
I was like at the edge of where the hardcore
circle.
dancing was happening, and was not expecting to be landed on like that. It was a guy who was, I'm a small guy, and this was a guy who was like significantly bigger than me, and like all of his weight landed on my foot at once.
Damn.
It was kind of a shocking moment, and I'm still recovering. I think it's just a bruise. I don't think it's broken or anything. But for a show that's going to be a lot more chill than that, April 4th, my group, the Christine Burke Ensemble, it's not my group, but I'm in the group. Lex Leto and the Christine Burke Ensemble will be playing as part of Stop Time Festival, which is a multi-venue, multi-day thing organized by Hampshire Auditorium. We'll be playing at the Iowa City Masonic Building at 2 p.m. on April 4th. So don't expect to get stomped on at that show. That'll be much different. I'll just read from the new poster I made. Do you have strong opinions? Need to get something off your chest? Just want to say something filthy into your phone? Call Hard Caucus right now at 319-849-8733. We'd love to hear from you. We recently got a voicemail about an author, a book author that this caller does not like. So that's the kind of thing you can call about. We got another call about Jodies. Those are the people who have sex with military wives while their husbands are deployed.
Jodies are eating good right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Jodies are on the rise.
So you can call about anything you want, and you may end up featured on Rock Hard Call Us, which is a show where we listen to voicemails, which you can find at patreon.com/rockhardcaucus, where you can also find Talking Shat. We've released 5 episodes in the series Talking Shat, reviewing the television show Invasion Iowa, starring William Shatner. The whole thing. We watched the whole show. We got 5 podcasts about it. It's pretty good. I mean, I think our podcast was pretty good. It was fun. I think the show was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
We got different guests on every episode, so you get some variety of voices discussing the show. It's a TV show that was filmed in Riverside, Iowa. That's very unique, right? So if you want to experience that with us, get on our Patreon, give us $1, give us $5, give us $100, however many dollars you want. It's fine.
Yeah. Wouldn't turn it down.
No.
That would be crazy, but,
That did happen once where somebody gave us like $70 and I was like, hey, did you do this on purpose? I ended up donating it because it was an accident and they didn't want it back. So I just like gave it to
they meant to do like
they
meant to do like $7 or something.
Something like that, yeah. We're going to close out with some Iowa music. If you live here and you make music, even if you don't live here, but you like the show and you want your music to be played, you can go to rockhardcock.us. There's a link near the top to submit your music, or you could just email us or whatever. But we're going to close out with some music from The Value of Human Life right now, because I played a show with them in Cedar Falls last weekend. It was nice to finally meet them. They're nice guys. They played a song about the Van Meter Visitor, nice. Which we played that song on this show before. And then they also played a song about the Black Angel Cemetery statue in Iowa City. That
famous nice Iowa stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very much our kind of band. We're going to play The Caves by The Value of Human Life right now. Could it be about the famous Iowa caves?
Yeah, it's about
Listen and find out. All right, so here's The Caves by The Value of Human Life. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.